From no running water to a millionaire empire, Moneybagg Yo did not come from comfort, privilege, or a perfect childhood story. He came from pressure, the kind of pressure that can either crush a man early or turn him into somebody the world has no choice but to notice. Before the luxury cars, before the mansion talk, before the six-figure shows, before the restaurants, the business moves, and the millionaire lifestyle, there was South Memphis. There was Walker home. There were nights where basic things most people take for granted were not guaranteed. No running water at times, not much furniture. A single mother trying to stretch everything she had across 3 kids while the city around them kept testing the family from every direction. That is the part people forget when they look at Moneybagg Yo in 2026. They see the expensive watches, the exotic vehicles, the designer fits, the private flights, the packed concerts, and the headlines about money. But they do not always see the boy who grew up understanding survival before he understood fame. They do not see Dario Dwayne White Jr., born in Memphis, Tennessee, carrying a hunger that was bigger than music. Every dollar he makes now is not just a flex, it is a response to every empty room, every hard decision, every moment when life tried to convince him that his ceiling had already been chosen. And that is why his lifestyle hits different. It is not just about showing off wealth. It is about proving that the same streets that nearly swallowed him became the foundation of his voice. His mother's strict rules pushed him one way, the neighborhood pulled him another, and somewhere in between those two forces, Moneybagg Yo started becoming the artist people know today. The streets gave him pain, but they also gave him stories. School could not hold his attention forever because he was already thinking about survival, money, and how to escape the cycle around him. By the time the name Moneybagg Yo started sticking, it sounded less like a nickname and more like a mission statement. He was not just trying to rap, he was trying to change his entire bloodline. So before we talk about the cars, the houses, the restaurants, the label, and the empire, remember this: the millionaire lifestyle did not begin with money. It began with lack. It began with hunger. It began in Memphis, where every dream had to fight to stay alive. If you are watching from Memphis, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, Houston, or anywhere in the world, drop your city in the comments right now. If you believe Moneybagg Yo's rise is one of the strongest come-up stories in rap, comment 1. If you think the lifestyle is bigger than the music, comment 2. And make sure you subscribe, because this story is only getting deeper. The streets gave him a story. Before Moneybagg Yo became a name connected to wealth, business, and major industry respect, he was still a kid trying to figure out which road would actually lead somewhere. In South Memphis, the wrong road is never far away. It is not always introduced like danger. Sometimes it looks like friendship. Sometimes it looks like fast money. Sometimes it looks like the only option when the house is struggling and the future feels too far away to trust. As a teenager, Moneybagg Yo was surrounded by the reality of his environment. The neighborhood had its own rules, its own politics, and its own pressure. He saw things early that forced him to grow up faster than he should have. He admitted that school was not giving him the financial answers he needed, and eventually, he dropped out during his senior year. To some people, that decision looked reckless, but to him, staying still felt just as dangerous as leaving. He did not see a clear future in the classroom. He saw bills, responsibility, and a world where nobody was coming to save him. That decision could have ended badly, and for a while, life did not exactly become easier. He worked odd jobs. He moved through difficult situations. He tried to find ways to survive, but the one thing that kept pulling him back was rap. Music was not just entertainment to him, it was a possible exit. It was a way to take everything he had seen, everything he had felt, and turn it into something people could not ignore. The Memphis sound shaped him. Artists like Yo Gotti, Boosie, Juvenile, and Future influenced the way he understood pain, ambition, and street storytelling. They did not rap like they were trying to impress a boardroom. They rapped like they were documenting real life. That mattered to Moneybagg Yo because his own life was already full of scenes that sounded like records. The struggle, the pressure, the mistakes, the dreams, the responsibilities, all of it became fuel. He was not polished in the beginning, and that was part of the power. The rough edges made the music believable. When he spoke, people from his world understood him because he was not pretending to know their pain. He had lived inside it. That is why his early music connected locally, before the industry ever cared. Memphis heard him first. The city recognized the hunger before the charts did. And while the rest of the world had no idea what was coming, Moneybagg Yo was quietly building the first bricks of a career that would later become an empire. From the block to the booth, Moneybagg Yo's first serious steps into music were not backed by a giant machine. There was no polished rollout, no major label budget, no perfect marketing plan, and no powerful industry team clearing the path. It was mostly hunger, local belief, and the kind of stubborn focus that separates somebody who wants fame from somebody who needs a way out. His early single, F You Pay Me, said a lot about where his mind was at the time. It was direct. It was raw. It sounded like a man who had already decided that respect and money were not optional. Then came the mixtapes. From Da Block 2, Da Booth was more than a title. It was a statement of movement. He was taking the world he came from and dragging it straight into the studio. No filter, no fake image, no industry polish hiding the truth. He was still close enough to the struggle to speak about it with detail, but ambitious enough to imagine something bigger on the other side. Those early projects moved through Memphis the old-fashioned way. Word of mouth, local clubs, block parties, street support, small shows, and people passing the music around because it felt real. There was no national spotlight yet, but there was momentum. And momentum in a city like Memphis means something. Memphis does not support just anybody. The city respects authenticity. If the story sounds fake, people will know. If the pain sounds borrowed, people will reject it. Moneybagg Yo survived that test because he was not manufacturing an image. He was documenting the life around it. During those years, Bread Gang started becoming more than just a name. It represented his people, his circle, and the independent structure he was trying to build. He may not have had the full blueprint yet, but the mindset was already there. He was learning that music could be more than songs. It could become a platform. It could become a business. It could become a door to something that outlived one hit record. But there was a cost. The grind demanded time, and time was already stretched thin. Moneybagg Yo had children, responsibilities, and personal sacrifices weighing on him while he was still trying to break through. Missing important moments was not something he took lightly, but he was chasing something that he believed could eventually provide for everyone connected to him. That pressure made the music sharper. Every studio session carried more weight because failure did not just affect him. It affected a whole family tree waiting for the breakthrough. The moment Yo Gotti changed everything. By 2016, Moneybagg Yo was not just another rapper making noise in Memphis. He had become impossible for the city to ignore. He released multiple mixtapes, kept pressure on the local scene, and proved that his work ethic was not a phase. One project in particular, All Gas No Brakes, changed the temperature around him. The title fit the moment perfectly because Moneybagg Yo was moving like a man who knew hesitation could cost him everything. That tape reached the ears of Yo Gotti, one of the most important figures in Memphis rap history. Gotti had already built CMG into a respected force, and when he heard Moneybagg Yo, he understood the potential. But this was not a simple business move. In Memphis, geography carries weight. North Memphis and South Memphis have their own identities, their own pride, and their own complicated history. For Moneybagg Yo, signing with Yo Gotti was not just about paperwork. It was about making a decision that some people around him were going to question. Some saw the opportunity clearly. They understood that Gotti could open doors. Moneybagg Yo could not open alone. Others felt differently. They wondered if aligning with a North Memphis powerhouse would look like turning his back on South Memphis. That kind of pressure can freeze an artist at the exact moment they need to move. But Moneybagg Yo made the decision anyway. He trusted the bigger picture. He trusted that the right partnership could take him from local respect to national impact. The reported signing bonus was a life-changing number for someone who came from almost nothing. But the money was only part of the story. The real value was the machine behind it. CMG gave him structure. The distribution connection gave him reach. Suddenly, the music that once moved through local circles had a path to the entire country. Then came Federal 3X, and the response proved the gamble was real. Debuting high on the Billboard 200 was not just a chart moment. It was proof that Moneybagg Yo was no longer just a Memphis street favorite. He was becoming a national name. The industry had to adjust. The same voice that came from Walker Holmes was now moving through major platforms, major playlists, major conversations, and bigger stages. But the most important part is this: he did not change the core of his music to get there. He scaled up without watering down. He kept the Memphis truth in the sound, and that is why the rise felt authentic. The hits made the lifestyle possible. Once Moneybagg Yo had the machine behind him, the next challenge was proving he could keep winning. A lot of artists get one moment, one hot tape, one big push, and then the spotlight moves on. But Moneybagg Yo did not treat success like a vacation. He treated it like another level of pressure. The bigger the audience got, the harder he worked to show that he belonged there. Project after project, his name kept growing. His collaborations became bigger. His sound became more refined without losing the grit that made people believe him in the first place. Songs like Said Some, Waukesha, and other major records showed different sides of his ability. He could make street music that hit hard, but he could also create records that carried emotion, vulnerability, and melody. That range helped him move beyond being boxed in as only one type of rapper. The real turning point was that Moneybagg Yo started becoming valuable in multiple lanes at once. Concert promoters wanted him because fans showed up. Streaming platforms supported him because the numbers were strong. Labels respected him because he had consistency. Brands paid attention because he represented a lifestyle people were watching closely. And in rap, once your lifestyle becomes part of the story, the business opportunities multiply. The performance fees changed dramatically. The same artist who once took small show money was now reportedly making massive amounts for single appearances. That does not happen by accident. It happens when demand rises, catalog strength grows, and fans believe the artist's story enough to buy tickets, stream music, and follow every move outside the booth. But that kind of money can create a dangerous trap. Some artists get rich and spend like the moment will last forever. Moneybagg Yo took the fame and began turning it into assets. That is where his 2026 lifestyle becomes more interesting than just jewelry and cars. The music created the cash flow, but the cash flow became the seed for bigger moves. His success was not only about looking rich, it was about learning how to become rich in ways that could survive beyond a hit single. That mindset is what separates a rapper having a good year from a rapper building a real empire. And as his fame grew, Moneybagg Yo started showing signs that he was not satisfied with applause. He wanted ownership, leverage, and long-term power. The mansion, the cars, and the meaning behind the flex. By 2026, Moneybagg Yo's lifestyle looks like everything a young artist from the bottom once dreamed about. The houses, the cars, the jewelry, the luxury trips, the designer clothing, the security, the private spaces, all of it paints the picture of a man who made it out and made sure the world could see the difference. But with Moneybagg Yo, the flex is not only about attention, it is also about evidence. The luxury is evidence that the story changed. A man who grew up with moments of no running water now lives in spaces built for comfort. A kid who came from rooms that did not have much now moves through homes that symbolize victory. Every expensive purchase tells a deeper story when you understand what came before it. To outsiders, a car may just be a car. To somebody from his background, it can feel like proof that the struggle did not win. His car collection became part of his public image. Exotic vehicles, high-end models, custom details, and rare looks help shape the millionaire lifestyle fans associate with him. But the cars also serve another purpose in hip-hop culture. They are trophies. They say the grind was real. They say the nights away from family, the studio marathons, the early shows, the rejection, the pressure, and the risk all turned into something visible. Still, Moneybagg Yo's growth is not just about buying things. That is the key difference. Anyone can spend money when the checks come in. The question is whether they can create something lasting. That is where he began separating himself. He understood that rap money can be powerful, but it can also be unpredictable. Music trends change. Streaming numbers rise and fall. A hot name can cool down fast if there is no strategy behind it. So while fans watched the luxury, Moneybagg Yo was quietly building the structure underneath it. The houses were not just places to live. They were assets. The public lifestyle was not just for showing off. It helped strengthen the brand. The brand created more demand. More demand created more income. More income created more opportunities to invest. That is why his lifestyle feels bigger than a simple rich rapper story. It is a transformation story. The same hunger that once pushed him through Memphis was now pushing him through business rooms, investment conversations, and ownership decisions. The flex got people's attention, but the strategy is what kept him moving forward. Cash 42 and the business outside music. One of the biggest signs that Moneybagg Yo was thinking beyond rap came when he stepped into the restaurant business. Cash 42 was not just another celebrity-branded idea thrown together for attention. It represented a larger shift in his career. He was no longer only using music to earn. He was using his name, his lifestyle, and his cultural influence to build businesses that could stand outside the studio. For an artist from Memphis, opening a restaurant carries deeper meaning. Food, music, nightlife, and culture all connect in the South. A restaurant is not only a business, it can become a gathering place, a status symbol, and a physical extension of the brand. Moneybagg Yo understood that. Cash 42 gave fans and customers a way to experience part of his world without needing a concert ticket. That move also showed maturity. A younger version of Moneybagg Yo might have focused mainly on fast money and visible wins. The 2026 version understands that real wealth is built through systems. A restaurant can employ people. It can generate revenue. It can create community presence. It can expand into more locations if managed correctly. And most importantly, it proves that his ambition does not stop when the beat stops playing. Business outside music is not easy. Celebrity names do not guarantee success. Restaurants are difficult, expensive, and risky. But the fact that he entered that world shows a willingness to evolve. He is learning the same lesson many artists eventually learn. Fame is useful, but ownership is better. A song can go viral for a season. A strong business can last for years. And this connects back to the bigger Moneybagg Yo story. He came from an environment where financial literacy was not handed to him. He had to learn by watching, making mistakes, studying successful people, and stepping into rooms where money moved differently. Being around Yo Gotti and other business-minded figures helped shape that understanding. Gotti did not just give him a label deal, he gave him a model. Build the music, then build around the music. Cash 42 became one of the clearest examples of that model. It turned the Moneybagg Yo brand into something you could see, enter, taste, and talk about. That is how artists become moguls. They stop being only the product and start becoming the owner of product. Bread gang, legacy, and the weight of fatherhood. Moneybagg Yo's story becomes even more serious when you look at what he is building for the people connected to him. Bread gang was never just a random name. It represented loyalty, ambition, and the idea that the people around him could rise too. In the beginning, it was tied to his independent grind and local movement. Over time, it became part of the bigger structure of his empire. But legacy is not only about artists, labels, and business deals. For Moneybagg Yo, fatherhood adds another layer to everything. He has spoken in the past about missing important moments because he was grinding. Birthdays, holidays, games, simple family experiences. Those sacrifices are not small. They are the emotional cost of chasing a dream while trying to provide at the same time. That is what makes his wealth story more complicated than just rapper gets rich. The money came with pressure. The fame came with absence. The success came with personal trade-offs. And when you are a father, every decision feels bigger because the future does not end with you. He is not just trying to build a career. He is trying to build something his children can inherit. Something that proves the cycle can be broken. That is why financial literacy keeps showing up as an important theme in his journey. A man can make millions and still lose if he does not understand how to protect, multiply, and structure money. Moneybagg Yo appears to understand that the real win is not only earning, it is keeping, it is growing. It is creating a foundation that remains when the spotlight changes direction. The label, the real estate moves, the restaurant, the catalog, the brand power, the touring income, all of it works together. That is the machine. Fans may focus on the jewelry because jewelry shines the loudest, but the quiet assets are what matter most. Those are the things that can create long-term stability. And for someone who came from instability, that matters deeply. Moneybagg Yo's millionaire lifestyle is not just a reward. It is a reconstruction of everything he did not have. Where there was uncertainty, he is trying to build control. Where there was lack, he is trying to build abundance. Where there was survival, he is trying to build legacy. The 2026 mogul phase. By 2026, Moneybagg Yo is not being discussed only as a rapper anymore. He is being discussed as a businessman, a brand, a father, an investor, a label figure, and one of the strongest success stories to come out of Southern hip-hop. That is a major shift. In the early days, the question was whether he could escape Memphis and make the world pay attention. Now the question is how far he can expand before the industry has to place him in a different category completely. The music is still the foundation. Without the records, the voice, the Memphis truth, and the loyal fan base, none of the lifestyle would exist. But the smartest part of his evolution is that he did not let music become the ceiling. He used it as the entrance. The hits opened doors. The shows brought money. The fame created leverage. Then the leverage became businesses, investments, relationships, and opportunities outside the booth. That is the real 2026 millionaire lifestyle of Moneybagg Yo. It is not just waking up in a mansion, driving an exotic car, or walking into a room covered in diamonds. Those things are visible. They are easy to post. They are easy for fans to debate. But the deeper lifestyle is the system running behind the scenes. The income streams, the ownership mindset, The brand expansion, the people employed, the catalog still generating attention, the business choices that could continue paying long after one album cycle ends. And that is why his story connects with so many people. It is not perfect, and it is not supposed to be. The road included mistakes, sacrifices, risks, and difficult decisions. But that is what makes it believable. Moneybagg Yo did not rise because life was easy. He rose because he turned pressure into fuel and pain into product. From Walker homes to national stages, from local mixtapes to major chart placements, from survival choices to business ownership, his journey shows what can happen when talent meets relentless ambition. The most powerful part is that he still seems to be in the middle chapters, not the ending. The mogul phase is still developing. The empire is still expanding. The legacy is still being written. Moneybagg Yo once rapped like a man demanding to be paid. Years later, the world responded. Now the bigger question is no longer whether he can get money. The bigger question is how much more he can build with it. The real lesson behind Moneybagg Yo's millionaire lifestyle. Moneybagg Yo's 2026 lifestyle may look like a highlight reel from the outside. But the real story is not just about diamonds, cars, mansions, restaurants, or private moments that fans only see through a screen. The real story is about transformation. It is about a young man who came from a place where the future was never guaranteed and turned that pressure into a blueprint. He did not just chase fame, he chased freedom. And once he got closer to that freedom, he started learning that money alone is not enough, unless you know how to protect it, grow it, and use it with purpose. That is the strategic lesson behind his rise. Music gave Moneybagg Yo visibility, but strategy gave him staying power. A hit song can change your year, a strong catalog can change your career, but ownership, investments, businesses, and smart partnerships can change your family's future. That is why his journey matters beyond rap. He shows that an artist can come from pain, build a fan base through honesty, use success as leverage, and then move into bigger rooms without forgetting where the story started. The biggest lesson is simple. The flex means nothing without foundation. My moment, but a business can create income. Jewelry can shine under lights, but ownership can shine when nobody is watching. Moneybagg Yo's evolution shows why young artists cannot only think about the next chain, the next outfit, or the next viral clip. They have to think about the next 10 years. They have to learn money management, protect their mental peace, build healthy relationships, and understand that every decision made during success can affect the future. There is also a human lesson here. Coming from struggle can make a person hungry, but it can also make a person carry old pain into new places. Real growth is not only becoming rich, real growth is learning how to move differently once you have options. It is choosing peace over unnecessary conflict. It is using influence to inspire instead of destroy. It is remembering that the people watching are not only fans, some of them are young kids looking for proof that their environment does not have to decide their ending. Moneybagg Yo's story is still being written, but one thing is clear. His millionaire lifestyle did not come from luck. It came from survival, consistency, risk, sacrifice, and a decision to turn a hard beginning into a powerful future. From South Memphis to national success, from mixtapes to major stages, from rap checks to business moves, he has built a life that tells people one thing. Your past can explain you, but it does not have to limit you. And if there is one message to take from this whole journey, it is this: chase success, but do not lose yourself chasing it. Build wealth, but also build wisdom. Protect your family, protect your peace, and never forget that real power is not just being able to buy more. Real power is being able to become more. If you respect Moneybagg Yo's journey from struggle to millionaire status, comment 1 below. If you think his biggest move is not the music but the business empire he is building, comment 2. Make sure you like this video, share it with someone who needs motivation, and subscribe to the channel for more deep stories from the world of rap, fame, money, and real-life lessons.